iTrain version 4 setting up a turntable. With our DTX you need to create a separate interface within iTrain first of all. So we go to Edit, Interfaces, and in the list of interfaces we choose DTC, I think it is, if I can find it, DTC. The reason it's DTC and not DTX, DTC is the earlier version of this, and also the item we use for controlling the Fleischmann, Marklin and Roco turntables. It happens to be exactly the same interface because we've developed both of them. So the first thing you do is choose that interface, you then go to serial. This is a USB connection, and it actually sees it as 2. That is the same thing as COM port 20, but let's just use COM port 20 because that may be how it shows it on your computer. The only other thing you want to do is polarity offset change to 1 if you are using digital command station. So if you're using anything which is DCC, you would want this offset set to 1. You can put in an image if you want. I don't really ever use that myself, and put some comments in here. That's just for your own use. It is an accessory, this device, so as you can see under control type there's not driving, and the other one feedback, which you normally see under the interfaces, because this is solely for accessories and solely for turntable. So hit OK. We've now created the interface. The next thing we need to do is actually draw the image of this demo of the turntable. So we need to go to the switchboard, edit switchboard. So we're in the switchboard, so you want to draw the turntable to suit you. So all you do is highlight the area you want the turntable in, and there's a tiny little icon on the right here which is called turntable. Just select that. Because you've selected the items in the middle, if you hit the space bar, it inserts a turntable. Okay, so we've now got the turntable. So what do we do next? Okay, so the first thing we do is double click within the turntable, and it opens up the properties of the turntable. Okay, iTrain uses names to describe all the items, so unless you've got more than one turntable you might want to call it something else, but I'm just calling it turntable 1. Okay, so now you can see the interface, and now you want to go to that interface, which is DTC under decoder type. There is other turntable decoders that iTrain understands, which you can see in the list here. Okay, address 1. That's just what the DTX is configured to. Connections, so in here we now have to tell it, so the possible connections are 48 that the DTX and DTC can allow you. Now we need to tell it which ones we have actually got in use. So if you remember previously in our configuration software we had all these exits stored in, so we need 1, not 2, because there's no actual exit there. So we've got 1, 3, 5, 25, no we haven't, no 25, we've got 26, 29 and 30. So within iTrain we need to put in 1, haven't got 2, so we choose 3, 5, and then it goes to 1, the opposite of 1's 25, which doesn't exist, so 2 is 26, so we choose 26. This one is, I have to look at the config again because I've forgotten, 29 and 30, so go 29 and 30. You'll see to the right of the actual exit it says none at the moment. If you double click in here you can choose which way it backs or drives the locomotive into the siding. So if it was going into a roundhouse and you always wanted to back the locos in, if you choose backwards every time the loco comes onto the turntable, if iTrain's automatically driving the route, it will back the loco into the siding. This is a personal preference, so you can choose how you want to set this up. I'm just going to leave them for none for now. But as you can see, we've set the ones which are available to us. And in the image on the right, you can now see those exits. Okay. Under configuration, you don't need to do anything with this DTX, and comments again is for your own use. So that is it. The turntable is now set up. So hit OK. Okay, so we've got the turntable in. Now, where all the exits are, if you look at the demo, the visual doesn't represent the orientation of the turntable here. So we need to rotate the turntable within iTrain, because if you put your mouse over the exits, one is there. Well, in our demo, one's right down here. So we want to rotate that right round until it's down the bottom to suit our plan. So again, have a box within the turntable, and rotate it is R, it goes anti-clockwise, and T goes clockwise. So you can rotate the image around to suit your needs. Now, as you can see, all the exits are funny shapes, okay? So the size that I originally made the turntable determines how these exits align. Now, if you don't like it, which I don't, because I would like this exit to be in line with the one opposite, straight through, and I can't achieve that. Now, that's because I haven't, I've made it symmetrical, the turntable, rather than in one direction, less squares. Now, if I delete this turntable, it won't delete all of the settings we've put in, because under accessories, the turntable's here. So the visual I can delete. So if I delete it, and then I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I do 10 by 8, that's not right. It's 8 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'll put the turntable in again. There's that. And then I drag, so the accessory on the left hand side, if I hold that and drag it and drop it onto the image, there we go. Now you see it's the configuration we'd already done is now assigned to the turntable. So we can now rotate it and see if that's any better. And I don't think it still is, so I've still not got it as I want it. We'll come back in a minute. You just have to play about with this to get it to suit you. Okay, so I put in all my exits. If I want to put buffers in, I can do that. Yeah, you do this obviously to suit your track plan. That was the wrong way round, so let's flip that round. You then got to create these blocks. So you use the block image, create the blocks around the turntable so it can find the routes. Put in your detection. So on every one of my sidings I've got 2 detectors, and I've actually got Railcom on this one. So every exit, put in everything you've got. The bridge, the turntable bridge only has 1 detector, so if we double click on this block on the bridge, we have to set that block up. So I'm just going to call it turntable block. Then it wants to know the length of the bridge. I think this one's 27, 28 centimetres. I can't remember, let's have a look. So on here we've got the length of the bridge is 28.5 centimetres. 28.5. 28.5. So it knows the length of the bridge. The interface, I haven't actually created a driving interface yet, but that would be your digital system, because that's what controls the blocks. And the feedbacks, you would have to add in the feedback address for the bridge. I haven't done that either, but you can do that later on. So the way you do that is you double click on the feedback there. Obviously whatever you've called the feedback, let's just call it feedback 1 for now. That's an occupancy detector, and it needs to know the address of the output. Also the length, we know that, 28.5, because that's the whole length of the bridge. Hit OK. Now if we go into the block again, and you go to block items, no, I'm not going to do the right bit. There we go, block items. So you can see the turntable, you can see the name of the block, and the feedback that's associated to the block. So if we go to feedbacks and you press autofill, it picks up the feedback that is associated to the turntable. If all the other blocks around the turntable were named, if you went to next direction next even, you would have the names of the blocks that are possible from the bridge in next and previous direction. Okay. Stop position. So at the moment you've got a margin up here of 3 centimeters. So if you had a loco that was actually 28 centimeters, it would not go onto the bridge. iTrain would not allow it on because there's no margin of 3 centimeters left on the bridge. It's too close. So if the loco didn't drive on because it was 28 centimeters, if you were to reduce this, so if you click on margin and you reduce this, you can make it go on. Okay, you can make it fit. Stop position. So from the end of the bridge, obviously my locos aren't as long as the bridge, so in both directions of travel you would set a stop position just off the end, so it centralises the loco to the centre of the bridge. You can put a speed limit in for the bridge. I think this is too fast. I think I would have that less, something like that maybe. Whatever suits your requirements. That's your choice. Okay, so that is it set up. So if we just apply that and press save and press OK, now in iTrain you can see the turntable. We're not connected to the DTX at the moment, so if we hit connect, it now connects. And did you see that the bridge spun round because it found where the position of it actually is on the turntable? So this now is exactly a mirror image of our turntable. So if I click on an exit, it then drives the shortest distance iTrain can find to get it to that exit. And as it's slowing down, and it will position itself at that exit. There we go. So there's a bit of a delay on the image, and then it aligns. It would then drive the train off into that siding and stop. And if you wanted to then drive off and back onto another one, you could just drag and drop the loco from one block to another. It would drive onto the turntable, find the shortest distance to travel again to the exit and go to it. That's how you set up a turntable within iTrain with our DTX. Very simple, very straightforward. Works really well. I hope that's of interest to you. If you want any links, they'll be below to the DTX. So if you're interested in buying it, it will be there. If you're ever interested, down here, DCC Train Automation, we're doing more and more iTrain workshops. So if you want to come and learn about iTrain, computer control, we do that with all sorts of different systems. So whatever system you're running, iTrain is capable of interfacing with many of them. There is some new things coming out on iTrain in version 5, which I can tell you about later in the year. That's not out till November 2019. So if you are interested in that as well, let us know. But we're going to do an open weekend on iTrain, hopefully in August. It might be towards September now, though, with the workload we've got in. But yeah, we do a lot of workshops. Always keep an eye on the website, the Facebook page, and the YouTube channel. We're going to get more and more videos on YouTube, so you can learn more about some of this technical stuff that we do. Hopefully they are helpful to you. If you have any questions about products that we haven't done reviews on and you would like to know about it, please drop us an email, and I'm more than happy to do a video to teach you about that product. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.